The May 2026 Visa Bulletin is out, and it is bringing some major surprises that every green card applicant needs to know about right now. Whether you are in the employment-based category or the family-based category, this bulletin has movements that could directly affect your case and your timeline. I am breaking down every single update in plain, simple language so you know exactly where you stand and what your next move should be. Before we get into the numbers, let me quickly explain what the Visa Bulletin actually is and why it matters so much. Every single month, the U.S. Department of State releases the Visa Bulletin, which controls who can move forward with their green card application based on their priority date and their country of birth. If your priority date is before the cutoff date listed in the bulletin, you are current and you can take action. If not, you wait. This bulletin literally controls the timeline of millions of lives. Now let me talk about the big picture news from the May 2026 bulletin before we get into the specific categories. This month we are seeing movement in several key employment-based categories that have been stuck for a long time. There are also some retrogression signals in certain family categories that applicants need to watch very carefully. The overall message from the State Department this month is cautiously optimistic, but there are important warnings buried in the fine print that most people will miss. Let us start with Employment-Based First Preference, EB1. This category covers priority workers, including people with extraordinary ability, outstanding professors and researchers, and multinational executives and managers. For most countries, EB1 remains current in May 2026, meaning there is no wait if you fall into this category. However, for India and China, EB1 continues to show a cutoff date. Indian EB1 applicants should check their specific priority date against this month's published cutoff very carefully. Moving to Employment-Based Second Preference, EB2. This category covers professionals with advanced degrees and people with exceptional ability. For most countries, EB2 is current this month, which is great news. But for India, EB2 continues to have one of the longest backlogs in the entire immigration system. We are talking about a wait that stretches decades for many applicants. For China, EB2 also shows movement this month compared to recent bulletins. Watch the dates closely if you fall into either of these countries. Now, Employment-Based Third Preference, EB3. This covers skilled workers, professionals, and other workers. For most countries, EB3 is either current or very close to current in May 2026. For India, EB3 remains heavily backlogged, similar to EB2. For China, EB3 has seen some forward movement this month, which is welcome news after months of stagnation. For the Philippines EB3 applicants, there is also notable movement that could allow some long-waiting applicants to finally take action on their cases. One of the biggest surprises in the May 2026 bulletin is what is happening in the EB3 Other Workers subcategory. This subcategory, which covers jobs that require less than 2 years of training, has seen unexpected forward movement for several countries. If you have been in this backlog and feeling forgotten, this month's bulletin may give you reason to contact your attorney and check whether you can now move forward. Dates in this category can shift quickly, so acting fast when movement happens is critical. Let us talk about the Employment-Based Fifth Preference, EB5. This is the investor visa category requiring a minimum capital investment in a U.S. business that creates American jobs. Regional Center EB5 for most countries, including India and China, has seen continued movement in May 2026. The EB5 category has been increasingly attractive as processing improvements take hold. If you are an investor or you have family members exploring the EB5 route, this month shows positive signs that the backlog in this category is being worked through steadily. Now let us shift to family-based categories because there are some very important updates here as well. Family First Preference, F1, covers unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens who are over 21 years old. This category has seen forward movement for most countries in May 2026. For Mexico and Philippines, which historically have the longest family-based backlogs, there is moderate movement this month. If you have been waiting in F1 and your priority date is getting close, now is the time to prepare your documents so you are ready to move immediately when you become current. Family Second Preference is split into two parts, F2A and F2B. F2A covers spouses and children under 21 of permanent residents, and this category remains current for all countries in May 2026, which is excellent news for applicants in this subcategory. F2B covers unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of permanent residents, and this category continues to have backlogs, particularly for Mexico and Philippines. Check your priority date carefully against the May 2026 cutoffs for F2B because there has been movement that could affect your case this month. Family Third Preference, F3, covers married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. This is one of the most backlogged family categories in the entire system, and May 2026 does not bring dramatic relief here. Movement is minimal for most countries. For Mexico, the dates in F3 are still significantly behind, with priority dates from many years ago still waiting. For Philippines, there is slight forward movement. If you are in F3, the honest message is that patience is still required, but consulting your attorney about any possible reclassification options is always worth exploring. Family Fourth Preference, F4, covers brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens. This is the longest wait category in the family-based system, and May 2026 continues to reflect that reality. For countries like India, Philippines, and Mexico, the F4 backlog stretches back by many years. There is minimal forward movement this month in F4 for most countries. If you are in this category, the most important thing you can do right now is make sure your petition is properly filed, your address is updated with USCIS, and you are working with a qualified immigration attorney to monitor your case regularly. Now let me explain something very important that many applicants get confused about: the difference between Chart A and Chart B in the Visa Bulletin. Chart A is called Dates for Filing, and Chart B is called Final Action Dates. Chart A allows you to file your adjustment of status application even before your priority date becomes fully current. Chart B is when you can actually complete the green card process. USCIS announces each month whether they will accept Chart A or Chart B. Always check which chart USCIS is using that month before you take any action on your case. A very important concept to understand this month is retrogression and why it can happen. Retrogression means a cutoff date moves backward instead of forward, taking people who were previously current back out of current status. This happens when too many applications are filed in a short period, and the State Department needs to slow things down. There are warning signs in the May 2026 bulletin for certain categories that retrogression could occur in coming months. Your attorney should be monitoring this closely and advising you accordingly. Let us talk about what May 2026 means specifically for Indian-born applicants, because India has some of the most complicated and longest backlogs in the entire U.S. immigration system. EB1 India has a cutoff date that continues to inch forward slowly. EB2 India remains one of the most painful backlogs with dates still many years behind. EB3 India has seen some forward movement this month. If you are Indian-born and in the employment-based system, work closely with your attorney to understand whether porting from EB2 to EB3 or other strategies might benefit your specific situation. For Chinese-born applicants, the May 2026 bulletin also brings mixed news. EB1 China continues to have a cutoff date unlike most other countries. EB2 China has seen moderate forward movement this month, which is positive after periods of slower progress. EB3 China also shows movement. If you are Chinese-born and your employer has sponsored you, make sure your priority date is locked in and properly documented. Every month of forward movement in these categories represents real progress for thousands of families who have been waiting for years. Now let me give you the action steps you should take right now based on the May 2026 Visa Bulletin. Step 1. Identify your exact priority date. This is the date your petition was originally filed, and it is the most important number in your immigration case. Step 2. Compare your priority date to the May 2026 cutoff dates for your specific category and your country of birth. Step 3. Determine which chart USCIS is accepting this month, Chart A or Chart B. Step 4. Contact your immigration attorney immediately if your date is at or near the current cutoff. One thing many people overlook when reading the Visa Bulletin is the importance of keeping all your documents current and ready to go before your priority date becomes current. When your date finally becomes current, you often have a limited window to act, and if your documents are expired or incomplete, you can lose precious time or even miss your filing window entirely. Make sure your medical exam is current, your financial documents are updated, your employer support letters are fresh, and your attorney has everything they need ready to file on short notice. Here's a common question I get. What if my priority date has been current for a while, but I still have not received my green card? There are several reasons this can happen. USCIS processing times vary widely, depending on the service center handling your case. Requests for additional evidence can add months to the timeline. Name check and background check processing can also cause delays. If your priority date has been current for more than a year and you have not received a decision, your attorney should consider filing a mandamus lawsuit to compel USCIS to act on your case. Bottom line on the May 2026 Visa Bulletin. There is real movement in several key categories, and if your priority date is approaching current, you need to be ready to act fast. Do not wait until the last minute to gather your documents, update your information, and consult your attorney. Immigration timelines can shift quickly in both directions, and the people who are prepared are the ones who get through the process smoothest. If you found this breakdown helpful, please like this video, share it with someone who needs to see it, and subscribe so you never miss a monthly Visa Bulletin update.